Guys, so today I'm going to be making a short video about choosing string. I've had a few comments and messages about what sort of string you should be buying or what string I recommend. And that's awesome because it means you guys are starting to seriously think about getting into yo-yoing. So strings are something you're going to have to think about when you get your first yo-yo, because usually when you buy a yo-yo, it just comes with one string. And a lot of people that are just beginning, that string can last you a few weeks to a few months. But if you're not careful, the string will eventually snap. Now what I like to do is kind of keep a schedule of changing my strings just so that never happens. I have broken a string, I think, twice in the 5 years that I've been yo-yoing, and it's not fun. It scratches up your yo-yo, and then you don't have a string for the rest of the day. So anyways, it depends on how much you play as to making that schedule for yourself. When I was in high school and I was throwing like every single day for multiple hours, I would change my string. At the time I was using kitty string, which is an awesome starter string. It's really like honestly an industry standard at this point. It's cheap, it's relatively high quality, and you can buy it in bulk from any yo-yo store. So anyways, kitty string I was changing out like every other day, maybe lasting 6 days tops. And when you start yo-yoing more, you'll kind of start to recognize when your yo-yo string needs to be changed. Your yo-yo will just kind of feel different, like interacting with the string. The textile or the texture of the string will be different along your fingers. Some people think it feels grabby. So like if your yo-yo is being more responsive than usual, or if your string is kind of yanking in ways that you don't want it to. But anyways, you just need to decide for yourself how often you think you need to change your string. I'd say for a basic a basic equation, maybe 10 hours a string. I don't know, like 10 hours of serious play. When you're starting, I would not even worry about it. Like, you get your first yo-yo, you learn a couple tricks. I could see you leaving your string on there for a month or longer. So anyways, I'm going to get into the actual buying of strings now. This is my string bag, among a few other things. You can see I have a whole bunch of stuff in here. Some string that I've tried recently, which is now in a whole tangle. This is Markmont string. I bought it from him when I was at the Seattle Yo-Yo contest. This is the Blue Eyes White Dragon here, which is a pretty texture-filled, rough, pretty heavy string. It's not one that myself or Markmont would recommend for beginners, but I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's an alright string. It's not exactly what I was looking for, but I like it. The Markmont 65, this yellow string, is one that he recommends for beginners. It's pretty on par with kitty string, but it loses its texture. I think it changes. It's more variable in its texture than kitty string, and so if you're looking for something that's like kitty string, I'd just stick with the classic. Plus, kitty string is a little bit cheaper. This is, I think, Yo-Yo Expert, or maybe, well, now I'm blanking on it. Yo-Yo Factory. I can't remember. It's one of those two, Yo-Yo Expert or Yo-Yo Factory brand string. I think it's a mostly polyester string, but it's a blend. That's another thing that I'll mention is string varieties. Cotton is one that pops into a lot of people's heads when they're thinking about yo-yo string, but other than people that are throwing like wooden yo-yos, cotton really isn't a standard anymore, so I'd steer clear of cotton. Polyester is really what people are looking for now in a beginner string. It's just really widely available, it's pretty soft on your hands, and it lasts a good while. I've been really enjoying throwing nylon strings recently, my favorite being Aeredex. And Zipline is pretty good too. Those are considered boutique strings. They're more expensive, but they also last longer because they're actually made by hand. So if you're interested in trying what I like, I can leave a link in the description to Aeredex. It's a really nice nylon string. And they last forever. Like that 10 hour rule thing totally goes out the window. I've had an erratic string on my yo-yo that I throw every day for a month or longer now. A couple random ones in here. This red one is String Lab. I think it's a plutonium or maybe a type X. String Lab is pretty sweet. I tried them out, and they have a couple different varieties. I think the type X has been my favorite. It's pretty comparable to kitty string, but just a little bit different. And then these are mostly nylon strings. I think this is mostly Eretics stuff in my hand right now. I don't know if you can see a difference like between that type X and the Eretic. The Eretic is a lot thicker. And then finally down here, these, well, except this blue one, these two are kitty strings. Like I said, kitty string has really become the standard. It's what I threw for like 4 years or maybe longer. It's super cheap. It's super easy to find. Everyone sells it. So I think the moral of this video is going to be, unless you're looking to experiment with something maybe a little fancier or just unique, try out kitty string. That's all I'm going to say about that. Or if you're looking for something slightly cheaper, that like the store brand Yo-Yo Factory or Yo-Yo Expert can be a really good backup choice. Really the reason I stopped using that string is I found it was a little too short for me. A lot of string choices also come in standard or long. I'm 6 feet tall and I've always just bought standard, and then sometimes they require trimming, sometimes they don't. But if you're taller than me, you might want to consider getting the long variety, especially if you're buying that store brand and you have a similar situation to me where you found it to be a little bit too short. But anyways, that's that. Good luck, guys, and I hope that you find some strings that you enjoy throwing.